Thousands of amazing blockchain citizens mapping the future of blockchain, helping to build a better world together. This Summit 2022 is going to be an event accessible by everyone all over the world. It's really a way where everybody can come together, contribute, learn, and start building together.
Good morning and welcome everyone to this day two. What a phenomenal 24 hours we've had already. We've had thought leadership, we've had inspirational speakers, we've had innovators who've challenged us to think differently, not just about where we are today, but where we're heading in the future. And of course, we had the phenomenal award ceremony last night, giving a virtual and in-person high five to those who are raising the bar and building a better future for us all in this industry. Let's hear it for all of our nominees and finalists. Give them a huge round of applause to every single one of them that deserve our recognition. Want to say a big hello to our virtual audience as well. Thank you for joining us. Whoever you are and wherever you are welcome to join us here as part of the Cardano Summit 2022. Make sure you stay with us inside the chat. We've got a really busy day for you. I mentioned yesterday that today was all about making sure that every element of the program was built around your needs. And this started with a challenge. Now, before I get into the challenge of crafting today's agenda, I do want to remind you, I gave you a quick little housekeeping note last night about the challenge workshop that's happening today. That is happening at 12:15 to 1:15. It was originally in 1AB, but it's now in 4BC. You don't want to miss it. Last year's challenge was an extraordinary success. Everyone hugely proud of all of the results that have been achieved. So do make sure that you attend that workshop and don't miss a single second. But as I mentioned, every element of today's program has been designed with your needs, with your voice, and with your priorities at its very heart. And it has been a huge team effort all the way back in late July, which seems like 7 years ago now. The Metadata Tools Team of Cardano Foundation received a brand new task, a challenge arrived inside their inbox. We wanted them to support the summit through the development of a voting application that would allow every one of the Cardano community to submit their thoughts, their feedback on exactly what they wanted to hear about at today's program. They needed to leverage the Cardano blockchain and make sure that every single vote was verified on chain. They had only 2 months to get this off the ground and develop it properly, and they have done a smashing job. So today's schedule is truly a result of all of that incredible hard work. So here to tell us a little bit more about building on Cardano, please join me in giving a huge early morning welcome to Thomas Mayfield and Fabian Bormann.
Good morning. So unfortunately, Pi wasn't able to attend this morning, but we will do our best to improvise for Pi at the very end here. So this is Fabian.
This is Thomas.
And together we are Thomas
and Fabian
from the Metadata Tools team. And today we are here in light of it being all for the community today, and more specifically building on Cardano. We were asked to talk you through our journey developing Cardano Ballot. So, as David mentioned about 2 months ago, we were tasked with developing this voting application. And the overall theme was to provide the community with a tool that would enable you to vote on awards and speakers, and ultimately have a say and a voice in this year's summit. And this came as direct sort of feedback from last year's event. So initially, we thought this would be a fairly straightforward task.
Yeah, we were wrong.
We were wrong. So we explored the existing voting solutions. So naturally, we looked at Catalyst and
Votaire.
And Votaire, yes, we spoke with the team from Votaire. And we soon realized that all of the existing voting solutions utilized a weighted voting model. So this is where your vote is represented based on how much ADA you are staking. And for Cardano, we wanted an equal voting solution, so every user or every voter had one vote, and it was only counted once. And this was our initial challenge. So how did we ensure that one user had only one vote? And sort of a common thread that's been taken place in discussions and workshops thus far and today, and definitely beyond the summit, is this notion of an identity. And whether that's a digital identity or a decentralized identity or a self-sovereign identity, it's a huge component to unlocking these real-world use cases for us within Web3 and blockchain and the future applications. So for Cardano Ballot, we knew that we wanted to utilize a Cardano wallet as an identity. So this sort of evolved our challenge from how do we isolate one wallet to one vote. So we leveraged what's known as the staking address. So a wallet is generated using a key pair. For those of you that don't know, this is a public and a private key. And with this key pair, you can generate numerous wallet addresses. But the unique thing is you can only generate one stake address. So this stake address is what we utilize to identify our users within the application. So the second challenge we had was, how do we authenticate this user? How do we ensure that the stake address is in fact belonging to the user that is stating it does? And this is where we leveraged Fabian's extensive gaming experience.
So I'm a community member of a few great projects and NFT games on Cardano, so I really love OG Bears and Pavi.io.
Don't forget Ada Zoo.
Yeah, and their Discord bot, because especially Ada Zoo has a Discord bot which you can text and it will respond with a special amount of ADA. And you then need to send the special amount of ADA, which acts like a password or secret phrase. You need to build and send a transaction with this amount of ADA, and the bot is looking for it. And if it realizes that there is this transaction on-chain, then your wallet is authenticated.
Yeah, and although this is an excellent solution, it didn't align with our requirements for Cardano Ballot. See, Cardano Ballot was intended to be free to users, and this method requires you to pay at least for the transaction fee to send this secret amount or unique amount of ADA back to your own wallet. So we decided to modify this Discord bot approach, and we leveraged something known as SIP8.
Message signing.
Message signing. So again, this is an approach that utilizes the same public and private key pair I spoke about previously. And the way that this works essentially is a user can sign a message with their private key. And anybody who has knowledge of the public key can verify and authenticate that that message was in fact signed by that user, and it was in fact the exact message that they said was signed. So this was a great solution for us because it enabled us to ensure that there was no cost for our users, but also gave us an authentication mechanism to authenticate our user and their wallet.
So we enhanced the Discord bot and replaced the special amount of ADA with a secret message the user just had to sign, and then we could prove that this wallet belongs to that user.
Yeah, so we had a method for verifying one wallet with one vote and authenticating that, but we were tied down to a Discord user. So that was a limitation that the team, the Metadata Tools team, wanted to enhance. So after much deliberation, we decided to introduce a text message or an SMS delivery channel as well. So in addition to the Discord message, we could also send this secret message via text message. So this allowed us to provide a solution for the non-Discord members, but it also raised an issue for us, which was the potential for attacks. And we had to put our hacking hat on and think about the malicious user and how they could defeat our authentication process. So essentially, we were worried about spamming. So someone could use a simple piece of code or create a script or even another bot to fight with our bot to generate an unlimited amount of wallets and to attempt to verify an unlimited amount of stake addresses, essentially a denial of service attack on our system, and essentially disabling you from voting and utilizing the application, which wasn't an option.
Yep.
So typically, the way you would address these issues with scripting attacks or bot attacks is you would use something that we're all familiar with, which is this capture component. So this is typically identified as a checkbox that says, I am not a robot.
But we decided to go with I am a human.
That's right. And in addition to the I am a human, we also discovered an interesting fact. So captures are quite easy to implement, but they're provided most commonly from a lovely company known as Google. And we love the infrastructure of Google, but our concern was about our users, our end users, and what the community would think about gathering user data, utilizing Google ad components. And both Fabian, myself, and the whole Metadata Tools team are somewhat opposed to this sort of ubiquitous approach to mass data gathering, and we didn't want the Cardano Ballot to do the same thing. So we implemented an open source capture component that did not generate any cookies on your machine. It was removed from personally identifiable information, and of course, we're in the EU, so we had to consider GDPR.
Yeah, and we all love GDPR.
We all love GDPR. So, thank you, Fabian. So essentially, we had a method to authenticate, whether it be through SMS, through Discord. We had a method to prevent the system from being taken down by attacking and spamming it. So now we had to simply connect a wallet to our Cardano application. So for this, we leveraged SIP30. Do you remember what that's called, Fabian?
The Cardano D-App Wallet Web Bridge.
Excellent, yeah, that was good. I had to write that down because I wasn't going to remember that myself. So we tested all of the Cardano wallets within the ecosystem that implemented SIP30. Do you remember the wallets that we implemented?
Yeah, we'll try, okay.
All right, so we had Eternal,
Nami,
Flint,
Nufi,
Giro Wallet,
Typhoon,
and you're missing one.
Yoroi.
Yoroi, that's right. So we were able to connect a wallet to our application, and we were able to support all of the wallets in the ecosystem that supported SIP30, but we came across some interesting discoveries. So some of the wallets implement SIP30 in different ways. So we also discovered that there was a surprising gap for support on mobile devices related specifically to Cardano wallets.
Yeah.
So as the team was sort of working through these very fun challenges, we decided, look, if we are having these problems,
the community has this problem too. So
yes,
we decided to cut it out of our application and build an own React library, which is easily to plug in also in your D-app, so you can all use it. And this enables you to build your use case and not only this connector. So I will show you how you can use this connector in a workshop. Right?
What's it called?
It's Cardano Connect with Wallet.
Excellent,
Come on,
yes.
Thomas.
Sorry, I just had to tell. I feel like this is. I'm
Yeah,
getting the game
You're-
show
you're-
moment
you're
that
the game
I don't
master,
usually
yeah?
get. Yeah.
So,
That workshop, sorry to interrupt you, that workshop is today from 10 to 11. It's the Implementing Cardano Connect with Wallet, and it's in room 3ABC, and we should also mention
Jaime. Yeah, our colleague Jaime built Boost Wallet, which is a blueprint so that you can build your own wallet on it. It's both is open source, and we will show you how you can use it.
Yes, I would highly recommend if you're interested in developing or integrating wallets with your application, please come and attend our session, or if you just want to have a chat with us and the team, we are more than willing and welcome you to attend.
Yeah.
So just to recap, so we've got a connected wallet, we've got stake addresses, we've got authentication, SMS, Discord, open source capture.
2 months.
2 months. And now we need to actually identify what Cardano blockchain specific technology are we going to use for actually writing these votes on chain. So we've mentioned it already a couple times. We're a part of the Metadata Tools Team. So our natural
Metadata transactions
was
yeah.
metadata transactions, which have a very valuable use case within the ecosystem. But the problem specific to Cardano Ballot, again, is the costs.
Yeah.
And we don't want costs for the users. We want to remove all of these financial barriers. So although we wanted to go with metadata transactions, we had to consider potential scale. We didn't know how many votes were going to come into the system. And there is somewhat of a controversial idea of should we be using layer 1 to store vast amounts of data. And this prompted us to speak actually with the technical director of open source development, whom you all likely know, Matthias. And we delved into the mysterious world of Hydra and smart contracts. And unfortunately, given the time constraints that we had, it was deemed to be fairly risky to attempt to implement this solution with Hydra within just 2 months. But this does not mean that there isn't a future implementation for Hydra down the road. In discussions with Matthias, he highlighted these isomorphic characteristics of Hydra. And essentially, the way to design a Hydra solution or a layer 2 solution is to first start on layer 1 like we've done with Cardano Ballot, and then iterate this application onto layer 2 by taking components, lifting them onto layer 2, and only leaving the minimal core components on layer 1. So we were happy to hear this because we thought it doesn't mean that we've closed the door on Hydra and smart contracts. We simply just started on this development journey. So we knew that we required an on-chain solution. We knew that it had to be at no cost to our users, but also at minimal cost to the Cardano Foundation. And then on top of all of this, we wanted to make sure the votes were anonymous, so you couldn't identify whom a user voted for, but we wanted you to be able to verify that your vote was counted, and your vote was counted in the manner that you wanted it counted. So the person you voted for or the team that you voted for actually received a vote in their category. And this is where Pi came into the picture and SundaySwap came into the picture.
You saw this video, yeah?
That's right. So we should mention, if you are interested in the SundaySwap governance model, we came across a fairly interesting and intriguing video with Andrew Westberg and Pi. And they broke down, or Pi broke down, the SundaySwap governance model. And one of the sort of innovative aspects of this approach is the ability to run verifying nodes. So you're not relying on one central source to tell you that this information is true. With SundaySwap governance, C Explorer, for example, and this is the Explorer we utilize in our application, runs as an independent third-party verifier. So they're able to verify that the information that's being presented by the SundaySwap governance model is in fact true. And the way that they do this is through this idea or this cryptographic proof known as a Merkle tree. So for those that don't know, we're going to do our best to describe the Merkle tree to you without putting you to sleep this morning.
Yeah.
It's a process of hashing.
And hashing.
And hashing.
And hashing.
And hashing and hashing over and over again. And essentially, it forms an upside-down tree. So you have at the bottom of this tree what are known as leaf nodes, and these are individual votes. So vote A, vote B, vote C, vote D, so on and so forth, get lodged in the system, and we hash these votes. And then we hash these votes together in pairs. And we work our way up the tree, but really we're going down the tree, if you think about it, because we start at the leaf level, then we progress to the branch level, and ultimately, all of the data that's contained and hashed and hashed and hashed upon itself over and over again all accumulate into one single hash at the top, known as the Merkle tree root. So we can write this root on chain, and we can provide a verifiable proof, cryptographically, that all of the data that exists within a data set is, in fact, included within the data set. So if we changed one vote, in fact, technically speaking, if we flipped one single bit, getting a bit technical here, it would invalidate all of the verification process. So this was a useful and verifiable approach to ensure users knew their votes were counted in the manner on chain. And the great thing about all of this is the cost is extremely minimal. So we're not creating a transaction on chain for every single vote that comes in. We're leveraging this hashing upon hashing approach to only generate transactions on chain every half hour. Pi would definitely verify this for us, but it was every 30 minutes we were writing a transaction on chain, and that was the current state of the Merkle tree. And when we closed the voting for speakers and we closed the voting for awards, we ultimately wrote a final Merkle tree root on chain. And once we had the winners in place, we also created a cryptographic proof for those winners as well. So in essence, this was our solution. We'd gone all the way from identifying a user with a wallet, utilizing a stake address, verifying them through a customized SIP8 bot, and then we integrated that with our application to allow our SMS users to implement their signature through our application. We worked all the way through the various on-chain solutions, and we ended up implementing the SundaeSwap governance model. And that brought us here today. So I think at this point, we would like to essentially speak about the Metadata Tools team. Because unfortunately, there are not enough chairs on this stage to get the whole team up here. So Fabian and I are both blockchain engineers within the team, and it was thought that we would be best to come on stage and present to you. But we would like to mention the Metadata Tools team, this collaborative aspect of how we brought this project together. And without the team, there was no way we could have done this in 2 months. And with the support...
It's an honor to be here representing you.
Yes. Thank you. So with the support of the team, the foundation, and of course the greater community, we were able to bring Cardano Ballot to life. And we hope that we can iterate this application. We will open source the source code so you can all review it. We need to have conversations with SundaeSwap with regards to their aspects that we open source to ensure that we don't reveal any of their business logic. But if Pi was here, he would be able to discuss these intricacies with you. But unfortunately, he wasn't able to make it. But like I said, we have a workshop today in 3ABC, and we also have a follow-up workshop presented by another one of our members from the Metadata Tools team. And he'll be talking about APIs on Cardano and his personal project, Dandelion. So we would encourage you to come on down, have a chat with us, and do a bit of coding. And that is all we have to present this morning. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for the team. And we look forward to chatting with you all later today.